Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Thursday edition of the Movie Morning News podcast update for Thursday, January the 9th. I got a special one for you today. I was looking at all the news that was dropping for movies and such, and honestly, there wasn't much. So I decided, instead of trying to stretch something out or talk about something that's not really in the realm of what we discuss, I thought, hey, maybe today would be a good day to try out something new. So I'm going to be going over the top 10 movies to watch on a snow day. So this is my personal list. Obviously, you may have different films that you would like to watch or that you prefer to watch on snow days. So drop those in the comments. I would love to know. There may be some that I overlooked or, haven't seen. And so I'd be happy to get this list updated. So let me know in the comments what movies make your list and what movies you like or dislike on mine. Just getting a sip from this nice cup of coffee. Such a great cup. Such a wonderful cup. All right, let's dive into it. So, number one on my top 10 movies to watch on a snow day list. Of course, you can't start a snow day without getting cold. And what better way to be cold than to be frozen? Get it? It's Frozen. The movie is Frozen. Talking about the Disney movie Frozen, just to be clear. So this list, to be completely transparent, has something for everybody. I tried to get it for, if you're watching with some kids, if you're watching on your own, if you want something that is pro snow and something that's anti snow. I feel like I've got something in here for everybody. So, of course, I wanted to kick things off with Frozen, the quintessential cold movie, as one might say. This is one of those that, if you've seen it, I mean, surely, I feel like everybody's seen it. It's a good, turn on. You're trying to get the day figured out. What do you got to take care of? This will keep the attention of those around you if needed for kids and such, but it won't be such an overbearing presence that you can't think while you're trying to figure out, okay, I need to still try and get this done. I need to get that done. And it'll give you a nice little soundtrack to get your day moving while you sip on, hopefully, a cup of coffee, if not a cup of tea or what have you. And you just kind of get into the cool vibe that Frozen gives you. I think it's a good way to start it. But that's just my call. Again, if you don't like Frozen, you may not want to watch it. So, of course, you can't have a snow day without the film Snow Day. So, if you've watched this, this movie is from Nickelodeon. I was a teenager when this came out. I think it was the year 2000. This is when Nickelodeon was trying to do their kind of MTV, but family-friendly MTV movies. And so this skews a little bit more into the teenager age range. This as well as Clock Stoppers, if you ever watched that piece of cinema gold that Clock Stoppers is. This one is all about, as you guessed it, a snow day. And it's one of those movies where it's it's one day and it's all these misadventures that happens over the course of the day with these various different groups, and people keep crossing into each other's paths, each other's plots and storylines and stuff. And it's a very basic story of a guy likes a girl, and he thinks that today's snow day is the day to tell her. Tell as old as time. It's funny. It's it's again family friendly, though it is a bit more on the teen side as opposed to the child side of things. But if this is one that eluded you back in the 90s, then I definitely think it's worth checking out. And of course, a banger soundtrack, including everybody's favorite Hoku and Another Dumb Blonde. Let me tell you, I could tell you the entire song. I'm not going to sing it for you. As much as I'm fighting it right now to just go into think that it's time that I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing it. But that's a great song. And hopefully the song Hoku, Another Dumb Blonde, will be stuck in your head for the rest of the day. And if you've never heard it, look it up. It's wonderful. It's a certified club banger if I've ever heard one. All right. What does that have to do with Snow Day? Nobody knows. No one knows. But it's the theme song. And you gotta have a theme song. And so that's your Snow Day theme song. Next up, of course, this is where we're going to start moving into a little bit more adult fare. Of course, this is not an adult film, to be very clear. All right, let's just get that clear right off the gate. But this is, of course, The Day After Tomorrow. So if snow is not your thing, if you don't love the snow, and you're like, God, snow sucks. Well, this movie has your back because it thinks that snow sucks as well. All right. It is very much anti-cold because cold is the bad guy of the movie. This is one of those, what's his name? Roland Emmerich movies. This is before, in my opinion, this is before he went too chaotic and insane with like Moonfall and Geostorm and all that. So this, to me, I felt was still in the realm of not reality. Like it definitely doesn't feel real, but it was a little bit more believable, more so than some of his more recent films. But The Day After Tomorrow, at the time, I felt the effects were awesome. I'm sure they do not hold up as well nowadays. But again, you've got a classic story about, surviving the snowpocalypse. And, you have various different groups working on different things and their stories crossing over. It has some Independence Day vibes, but it's much more about the weather, surviving storms, things like that. It's almost like if Twister and Independence Day had a baby and it was about snow. That is what The Day After Tomorrow would be. So again, I personally really like this movie. I think it's a good dumb movie. Depending on your level of Snow Day, if you want something that you can just kind of like half pay attention to and see some like cool effects and stuff, but you're not really concerned with trying to pay attention, this is a good movie to watch. This is a good movie to have on in the background. I think it's a fun movie overall. Jake Gyllenhaal's in it. It's good. It's a good movie. Of course, next we got a very much more adult movie, The Shining. That's right. This movie I feel like captures the feel of being stuck at home during a snow day perfectly, where you just, you've started losing your mind a little bit, and maybe you don't watch this on day 1 of the snow day, but maybe more like day 3 or day 4 of just not being back at work yet. And so you're kind of getting on edge, you're doing some funny things. You're like, hey, you know what? Maybe we can kind of destroy the kitchen a little bit. What does it matter? What does anything matter anymore? Time isn't real. What are time? That's The Shining. Surely I'm not telling you anything you don't know about The Shining. But this is a good one if you're feeling like you're kind of losing your mind, as we all do during snow days. Sometimes you need to just kind of let loose, I mean, as they say, all work and no play makes you a dull boy. No, it's obviously, I had not seen The Shining until I think 2 or 3 years ago. And actually, me and Maggie watched it. Maggie loves The Shining. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, it's what I figured it would be. But then we watched Doctor Sleep immediately following it, and that was awesome. Like, it was great. Those two together, and obviously I'm a huge fan of. Oh my god, I'm completely blanking on his name. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. But he did Midnight Mass and Haunting of Bly Manor, and Hill House and all that stuff. So anyway, he did the sequel. But The Shining, definitely a good snow day movie if you are starting to feel like you're losing your edge a little bit. This is a good one to really, if you're feeling a bit foggy, this one's going to make you feel more foggy. And, you just lean into it. Just lean into it. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. So the next one that you need to watch on your snow days is The Thing. Now, this is the 80s, The Thing. There was a sequel, reboot, prequel that came out in I think it was 2011. It's good. It stars Ramona Flowers. But you definitely want to go with the original. If you've not seen it, do not look into it. All right, just watch it knowing nothing. Trust me, if you know me, if you've watched me talk about movies, I love this movie. And if you think a lot of my opinions match with yours, just trust me and watch it. All right, it's fantastic. And if you have watched it, then you know that it's insane. No, this definitely brings the snow into it. You're gonna feel very cold watching this. This is a good movie to watch in the winter, simply because you're gonna feel the vibe of the movie more so than you would if you say watch this in the summer. It would work, but I feel like it works best when it's also cold, and it's gonna make you not want to go outside. You're gonna feel much better about having to be at home, because if you gotta walk your dog, and you're standing outside and you hear the branches falling. It's very quiet because it's snow, and everything gets all quiet. But then you start to hear a branch, and maybe some dripping of the snow melting a little bit, and you're gonna want to get the heck back inside very quickly after watching The Thing. Great movie. Hard R, I believe. Visually for sure. This is not for kids. Definitely not for kids. And speaking of not for kids, 30 Days of Not. So this is the way I do playlists, okay? You gotta start at the top. You go down, right? You bring the mood way down, but then you bring it all the way back up by the end. Okay, that's how I like to move it. All right. So this is the depths of the down swing here. It does not get lower than this. So 30 Days of Night, if you are unaware of 30 Days of Night, this came out mid 2010, I think. Not mid, but 2010, around there. It stars Josh Hartnett. He's a sheriff, and he's in a town in Alaska that, I believe it's Alaska, that goes a month without daylight once a year. Hence, it's 30 Days of Night. And I'm just going to tell you, a group of vampires decides that would be the perfect place to go. And now when I say vampires, I do not mean like Dracula. I don't mean like Twilight. I mean vicious, kind of slightly demonic. There's never they never I don't think they talk to Satan or anything. That doesn't happen. It's almost less animalistic, but vampires and similar in feel to From Dusk Till Dawn. So if you've not seen this, it is a very bloody movie. Okay, just full stop. And it feels like it's in black and white because the whole thing again takes place during 30 Days of Night. So it's dark, it's nighttime, and it's covered in snow, and so it feels like it's in black and white. And then you have these group of survivors trying to survive until the sun comes up. So they're dealing with hypothermia. They're dealing with no food, but they're also dealing with vampires. And it's great. It's a great movie. Has a great ending, in my opinion. I love the ending to this. This is not the most hopeful of films, so keep that in mind. But if you're like me, sometimes you need that just a little bit of horror, to keep your blood pumping. And 30 Days a Night is definitely gonna do that for you. If you've not seen it, I highly recommend it. And it's it's cold outside. It's a great movie to feel cold while watching. Like, it's just gonna suck you into it even more. Lots of vampire puns, keeps your blood pumping. It's gonna suck you into it. Come on. I'm not even trying. Here I am pulling a Rebecca Rubin or something. Just puns all day. All right. Like I said, that was the depths. So now we're going to start bringing things back up with Groundhog's Day. So this movie, I try to watch this every Groundhog's Day because it's called Groundhog's Day. But this movie is such a great film that it has created its own plot top. So like when someone does a story like Groundhog's Day, it is immediately referred to as like Groundhog's Day. Like It's a Wonderful Life. When somebody does a movie like It's a Wonderful Life, it's called the It's a Wonderful Life trope, right? Well, this is the Groundhog's Day trope, and it's where, for some reason, if this movie has eluded you, it's where Bill Murray has to relive the same day over and over, until it doesn't really tell you like why. But by the time the movie ends, like you have a better understanding. But it's not like there's like a magic spell or anything. But he is a weatherman, and there's a big snowstorm, and so he has to go to this small town for Groundhog's Day. They're gonna celebrate like where they pull out the pox and I can't even think of how you say it, but the groundhog, and so he's there covering that, and then he has to do that same day over and over. And it's great. This is another one of those movies. It's almost like the inverse of The Shining, where like you're going to feel like if you've been stuck in your home for a few days with the snow, you're going to feel like you're kind of losing touch with reality. And no, there's no time. Time is meaningless again. And this movie captures that perfectly. But it's in a much more positive way, though. It's a great film. If for some reason you've never seen Groundhog's Day, I cannot recommend it more. Still holds up. Still a great movie. I don't think there's anything problematic in it. I could be wrong. Based off, recent memory, I don't believe there's anything in there that I, would be concerned with. But it's good. He learns a good lesson about what it means to be human. Great movie. Groundhog's Day. Great snow day movie. But you know what else is a great snow day movie? Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So now we're starting to move out of the snow, okay? You are in a snow day. If you are stuck at home watching movies, you are in fact taking a day off. Whether that is from school or from work or whatever. If you are watching movies at home, you are on a day off. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay to enjoy that. I'm sure there's lots of responsibilities. I'm sure there's lots of things that you're needing to take care of. But I'm here to tell you, it's going to be okay. So enjoy the day that you can, and enjoy this movie. And know that it's okay to take the day off. It's okay to not try and still get everything done. The world is going to throw a lot of stuff at you. And if you don't slow down and take a look at it, it's going to pass you by. All right. I think I butchered that, but you get what I'm saying. Okay. Like, if you're anything like me, like, I always stress out because there's like stuff that has to be done. And, sometimes, the world's like, hey, sorry, buddy, I'm forcing you to stop. You have to stop. You have to take this day off. And I feel like Ferris Bueller is a great way to tell you it's okay. You know, sometimes you gotta just say screw it and go do a thing to feel alive again. And that's Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So I think it's a good one to just remind you that it's okay. It's okay that you've got a snow day today. Don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. And then further on, kind of in that same vein, one of my favorite movies of all time, main reason why it's on this list, is Almost Famous. Again, not really connecting snow-wise, but I feel like it's another one of those where if you get stuck in the snow for long enough, if you're like me, I get very introspective. I begin overthinking everything, right? My life, the things I want, and I feel like this is one of those movies that's great to kind of help you get re-energized in your soul, like to kind of kick you into gear and inspire you to go after your dreams, right? And so if you're at home on a snow day, especially if you're not self-employed or something, maybe you're working a job you don't love, maybe you're going, maybe you're between jobs, maybe you're going to school and you don't have life figured out yet. This movie is about knowing that it's okay to not know what you're doing, but it's worth going after that dream, and maybe it'll take you on a grand adventure. Maybe you'll have heartbreak, maybe you'll have joy, and maybe in the end you'll find out who you really are. It's a great movie. I think it's a great movie for a snow day. Also a sick day, if I'm being honest. Like, if I ever do one of these for like a sick day list, this would probably go on it. Because I think it's just it's a good movie. And it's just a good movie to kind of keep your head on while you're dealing with being stuck at home in the snow. Last movie on the list. This one is going to carry you out from the snow into the spring, because that's exactly what happens in the movie. A little known movie called You've Got Mail. This has been one of my favorite movies since the first time I watched it, even though I was like 11 and probably shouldn't have been loving romantic comedies at the time. I was a weird kid, but I still love this movie. It's unfair to Sleepless in Seattle because I had not seen Sleepless in Seattle until after I watched You've Got Mail, and so I prefer You've Got Mail, though I can completely understand why people would have an inverse feeling on that. But You've Got Mail, one thing that I love about it is the fact that it begins in the fall, takes us through winter, and ends up in spring. And so just in a visual way, in a feeling vibe, this movie will help you get from your snow day into the warmer days, right? Into the blossoming of life. And I think it's funny. I think it's still funny. It's very hopelessly optimistic. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but it also doesn't try to hide the fact that it is what it is. It's a romantic comedy, and that's okay. It sometimes doesn't have to be deeper than that. Is this a great representation of how you should be in a relationship with people? How you should gaslight them? Definitely not. I would not suggest doing the things that Tom Hanks does in this movie. That said, though, opening yourself up to accepting that others just can change, allowing yourself to love, to feel, and then, seeing the new day dawn. I think it's a great, again, just another great snow day movie, especially if, things are starting to warm up, that you're going to be going back tomorrow. Like, you can tell today was the last day of the snow day. I think this is a good movie to kind of warm you back up and get you back into the mode of everyday life. But what do you think? Let me know. Did my top 10 list, Did it hit some of your movies that would have made your top 10 list? What movies did I leave off here? There was one I was going to put on here, Snowpiercer, but I went with 30 Days a Night instead, because Snowpiercer is a whole thing. It's a whole thing, and I'm not ready to dive into that right now. I'm too tired to talk about it. So let me know what you think. What movies did you roll your eyes at? What movies, let me know if there's any movies in this list that you have not seen that you are now going to watch because of this. I would love to know which ones speak to you the most. And if you absolutely hate this, thanks for getting this far. I appreciate you watching this whole thing. You gave it your all. You know, you gave us your best shot, and I appreciate that. So, thank you, everybody. Tomorrow we'll be back to our normally regular news coverage. Of course, we're going to be talking about movies hitting the theaters, new releases over the weekend, box office predictions, all that kind of fun stuff. So make sure you come back tomorrow for another edition of Movie Mornings. But that is going to wrap it up for me today. I hope you all have a great day today. If you are having a snow day, please pick one of these movies and enjoy. But until next time, thank you for watching. And as always, have a hopefully awesome day. Goodbye.